Fired up.
Fired up.
Yeah! Dodge Demon. Let's get it! What's good, man? What's good, man? Welcome back to the channel, man. Thanks for watching. I got some free time right now, man. So I'm on my laptop and I'm gonna answer a couple of questions, man. One in particular I see on here. I want to call out the guy name because I may mess it up. But anyway, he want to know. He got the 05 Chrysler, the 300, the Chrysler 300, and he basically asking why the car don't have a dipstick in it to check his transmission fluid. He's not able to check his transmission fluid. Well, let me tell you something, man. That's a good point. Let me tell you something. They started that trend. Chrysler started that trend in 05 with that big car, the Chargers, the 300, the Magnum. What was going on is people tend to try to change their own fluid and perform their own transmission service, and they would in essence end up adding the wrong transmission fluid and essentially ruining their transmission. Now, because they was under warranty, Chrysler had to pay the bill for the most part to get it repaired. So the warranty expense was getting sky high, just out of control. And every time they would get those transmissions back after the dealership ended up replacing them, conclusion and was determined that the wrong fluid was installed. Granted, it was installed by the customer, but at that point, you have no way to prove it, and you don't really want to argue and fight with a customer that just bought your product. So you essentially bite the bullet and end up repairing the car because the customer has a powertrain warranty. So to get around that, Chrysler essentially snatched the dipstick away from the consumer. No, you don't know how to check your fluid, and you don't know how to add the proper or the correct fluid in the first place. So they just took that feature away. Now, again, most consumers they didn't think it's not that serious. They think fluid is fluid. Like it's like oil, man. They think 10W30, 10W20, 5W30. It's all the same. No, man. Viscosity is different from brand to brand and from from that standpoint. But fluid, you can't mix Dextron. You can't put Dextron fluid into a Chrysler transmission. You can't put ATF4 in a Ford transmission. I mean, our engineers created those things to run off a certain type of fluid, and consumers, the majority of consumers that call themselves do-it-yourself mechanics, messed it up for everybody. So Chrysler, and not just Chrysler, it's a whole heap of manufacturers out there. They just snatched away the dipstick. But what they gonna give you, or what they gave you during that time, because even now that's been taken away. They gave you a dipstick tube. Now, that's what, 05, that's a good, 10 years ago, maybe 13 years ago. Consumer has caught on to that. So in some of the new transmissions, Chrysler got an 8-speed transmission now. They don't give you a dipstick or a dipstick tube. They refuse to let you keep ruining their transmission, man, doing it yourself. So they just took the whole thing away. But back to your question, your 05, you have a dipstick, you just don't. No, you have a dipstick tube, you just don't have a dipstick. They took that away. So let's just take it away. Don't let the customer be able to check their fluid. Now, the way customers got around that is aftermarket developers created dipsticks. The dealership was the only one that had the dipstick, but once they get in the hands of a third-party manufacturer, they can create dipsticks and sell them. So now the public have a dipstick. They essentially back to square one, back to what got them there in the first place, dumping the wrong fluid in it and not checking the fluid level properly. Because it's crazy how it's the way you check fluid is really checked from a temperature standpoint. I mean, some cases the car has to be level surface, car running, of course, and the temperature have to be a certain amount to get this precise level right. So that's very important, and none of the consumers seem to care. They just added fluid at will, added the wrong fluid at will, essentially ruining their transmission. And because they have a powertrain warranty, most of the manufacturers had to repair it. So you can buy aftermarket Dipstick, and from that point on, check your transmission fluid. But by now, you're probably out of warranty, so you're on your own anyway. Do as you please right now, but that's the answer to your question. They took it away. I'm gonna talk about the Chrysler got some sealed, totally sealed transmission. You can't do nothing to them. They did this for the same reason, but I'm gonna talk about that on the next video, man. Thanks for your question, man, and comment, subscribe, and I'll see y'all in the next video. I gotta go.